Okay, so I've got a new customer. This is the second cut I've done for it. The first time I visited here was last Wednesday. So this is in the new build development in the town where I live. It's a nice big house. So we've got this front section, which is, so we've got this like corner, sort of thin sort of bit that sort of goes around the corner of grass. And we've got some plants along here. I haven't had to touch any of this yet because it isn't really as bad because it's all new. It's not as if it's a house that's been here for like 20 years and it's all really weedy and stuff. This was probably only built about a year ago. So, I mean, there's a few little weeds you can pull up by hand, but it's not like weeds that grow up to here and you can't see the plants. So at the moment it's mainly just the grass. Believe it or not, this was all new turf probably about a year ago. I don't know what's happened to it, but personally if I lived here I'd probably just rip it all up and redo it. But it's fine at the moment. So there's this border here, because this is part of it as well, which is this like a parking spot. If this wasn't here then this would probably just be grass that goes the way along. So I want to get that weed out. So there's a few little weeds that I want to get out today. This bit obviously is part of their front as well. So this obviously gets cut. This is next doors. So yeah, what I'll be doing today is just giving it another cut. And then putting out a few weeds. There's quite some big ones in the back. There's a raised bit along the fence because it goes up. So it kind of goes up on a slope for the next house, and there's like a raised bit of like wood sleepers, and there's big weeds that I'm gonna get out today. Yeah, then it kind of goes around here. Yeah, cut all this. This is the only bit that I've really cut the best because it's the only sort of big bit. The rest of it's kind of just pushing it back and forth, and trying to get on the scaffolding that's been here for a little while. Yeah, then I think I'll be doing a bit of weeding on here, so any weeds that we can pull out. I'm not entirely sure if all this will get pulled out yet. These like sort of basically weeds that are going through the gravel and stuff on that path, and this is the back. It isn't as bad as it was last week, because obviously that wasn't cut for about a month. But it was, the only bad thing about it that was more difficult was there was like these, you can see there's like these darker green, like thicker green spots, which were quite tall, whereas the rest of it wasn't. It was probably about this height, and these bits were like quite tall and thick, and that was the only difficult bit to get through really. And it obviously took about 2 hours, so just using the manual push mower. I think all the other bits are like this because I think before I visited last week, a few weeks ago, I think, however long ago it was all like, looked like it's all been like trimmed down, because I think it got quite long and the scaffolding was up. So I think like a neighbour came and trimmed it all down, and that's why it looks bad. There's also this bit. The thing I find a little odd is it's not actually as goes up as I imagined it in my head from last time. But there's this bit that sort of raises up because I'll say this garden is on like 3 different levels. It's got the patio bit, which is down here, and you got a bit that goes up with steps for, I'd say, the main part of the garden. Then you got this bit that goes up here, but there isn't any like steps here. So if you got a heavy mower, then it's gonna be quite difficult unless you're quite strong, or unless got some ramps or something. Then you got this bit, which is another rectangle section. And this is what I was talking about, the raised sleeper bit with the massive weeds in. So I'm going to try and get these out today with my little hand tools, my trowel and fork. But I think they've been like sprayed or something. The customer said that she was going to maybe try and put some weed killer on it last week when I was here. I don't know if that obviously happened or not. It looked like they've been like touched, like they've been maybe she tried to pull them out. But yeah, if I have time, I'll try and pull these bits of grass out. So it's mainly just grass that have come up. Maybe in the wind at some point, grass seeds from somewhere else are sort of blown around and settled here, sort of grown. Doesn't take too long. I'll just be sort of pulling those bits out because it's still quite new. All this stuff's still quite new, so it's quite easy to you can just chill it and it comes out. There's a dog bone here because the owner has a dog. I think the reason why all of this is then we have green spots. It's because the dog's weeded in those bits and they make it really green. But that's like a shame we can't put on the whole thing, and then it would just make it really green, I think. But yeah, so I have to start with the front first. It doesn't take too long doing the front, well, the grass part. If there's like obviously a weeding, it'll take a little longer, but yep. But apart from that, I think it doesn't take too long. I'd say with the strimming included, obviously, and sweeping, it'd probably take, I'd say 10 minutes. Maybe a 10-minute job to mow the front, 10-15, depends. You may take up 5 minutes of strimming, 5 minutes doing sweeping, sweep all the grass back on, because I have to broom, and then, I don't know, about 5 minutes mowing, or even longer. It may take about 20 minutes doing this. You'd be surprised because it's such a small garden. It's like really small bits. You'd be surprised how long it would take to cut it. You think it only take about 5 minutes, but no, it would take about 20. And then probably another 5 minutes to do all the weeding. Or even 10, I don't know, it depends. But yeah, I'll get started now. Yeah, so I'll show you after this has all been done, including the weeding, I guess. Okay, so I've done the front, and I trimmed it first, then I've done all the sweeping, and then I cut it all. I emptied the bag in sections because on this current one, it's starting to fall apart, this bag. So I cut this bit first with the mower, then I emptied the bags out to fix it, then I cut this bit that went round the side and emptied it and then fixed it again, and then I went up there, I just carried the mower up to there and then cut that little bit, which took literally about 10 seconds, and the bag broke again. So then I obviously, once I finished it, which literally it broke as soon as I finished pretty much, I brought it back down, emptied the bag and fixed it, and it's now like this. And then I done some weeding, so it's not really that much difference. It's mainly, it grows a bit, but you can't exactly tell that it has been cut. Obviously these bits are a bit longer, but I mean, if you looked at it from further away, you can't, like if you looked at it from across the street, you can't exactly tell that it has just been cut. It's not as if it's like really sort of thick green brand new turf as when it's first cut yet, and there's nice stripes or anything. It's been trimmed. It's only been like 8 days. It hasn't really had that much time to do much in this bit. And yeah, I just went and pulled a couple of weeds out. It's good because this is still quite a new area, so all the weeds that would be here aren't that established yet. So there's only like tiny little ones which started coming through, which are all the same weed. Or we've got ones like this, which I just can't bother to pull out because that would be harder. You probably need to like spray that with weed killer or something. So this is literally, I don't really know what the point is of this being part of the garden, because it's just a little bit of grass here, and it's so far away, it's almost like you think it'd be part of their garden. It's like, probably, I would be surprised if this was someone else's house, they'd probably just turn us all into plants or something. Yeah, I think they've got a few more weeds in there that could be pulled out. They've literally got like a tiny little strip of grass, and if that's the neighbours, then it literally goes, they've got a tiny bit of grass in the front, but I'm sure one of them cuts it. It looks like they've got a bit around the corner as well, so what I would hope one day is, because obviously I already have this person here, is that maybe after a couple of times of doing hers, maybe I'll get a few other people that ask around here, because obviously these are new houses and the grass is still quite new. It's not, 20 years old or 40, 50 years old. It's still quite new and it's still going to be growing quick and like that. And some people this may be their first garden, they don't even know what to do, or they don't have a mower, for example. Like this customer I've got doesn't actually have a lawnmower yet, so that's kind of why I got chosen, really. If she did, then I would have obviously never met her, would it? Never even known. So yeah, like all these ones, this one looks like it's due a trim. It was like this last week. That one over there is a bit longer. That one's probably over there, it's probably about the same. I feel quite a lot of them over here, look, they kind of are due the cut, probably because they've been turfed a couple of months ago. And at the start of this year, and they haven't had this first cut yet, or maybe they have had once. But there's probably been so much building work going on that they haven't been able to just get the mower out and spend an hour or whatever they're doing. So, I mean, maybe what I would hope that could happen in the future is I could get another few customers around here, because, driving, it takes probably about, 10 minutes from home to get all. This is pretty much what I would call the other side of town. So it takes all this time to get here just to do one, but as long as it takes like 5 minutes to cut, it takes a while. But it would also help, that would also make more sense driving all this way, would be to get a few other people in this same area. So like, for example, obviously this one, which I'd do, and then for example if I had that, and maybe a couple down there, it all makes sense to do them all. Have a few customers and do them all at the same time. And then obviously I'll get paid more as well, but it's not all about the money, even though I want to get a new mower, but it does make sense. It'd be nice to get more people. Now I've got the summer off. I've got another like 8 weeks. So this is what I've got in my bin. It's just mainly weeds and stuff. I trimmed this. I started pulling it out, but I wasn't entirely sure if she wanted that pulled out, because there's a bit of a dip down there now, so I stopped. It doesn't look that obvious now, I trimmed it. It's just like this bit of grass was along here. I don't know if this was put here intentionally, like from seed, or if it just sort of grew. It just sort of grew on its own. So I trimmed it for now. It's better like that. It's better shrink it this sort of long. I didn't do it last time, so I wasn't entirely sure. So next on the list will be to do this. I'll do obviously all the trimming and then the mowing and stuff first, and then I will attempt to try and get those weeds out. Last time I couldn't do it because I didn't have the hand tools and I didn't have any gloves with me. So, and some of them are quite big and spiky, so I don't want to hurt myself trying to do that. Yeah, this shouldn't take too long, because it's definitely a lot shorter than it was last time I'd done it. The greener clumps are still taller and thicker, but it shouldn't take too long. Like, it took probably about like an hour, 45 minutes maybe. 45 minutes to do this, and that was, regarding the size, if you had a petrol motor, like if I got the petrol motor eventually, it should take me probably about 20 minutes to cut this, including trimming, leaf blowing / sweeping, and then the mowing. So it should only take me 20 minutes, not like 45 minutes. But obviously I haven't got a petrol mower yet that works. I want like transport gardens. So I have to make do with what I have. At least I got this trimmer last year, because I had one. It was one of those like homeowner ones, a cool cast 18 volt. It was quite small. So yeah, it's definitely, it basically hurt to like sort of lean over while I was using it. Kind of aches my back. This one's obviously longer and it looks more professional. Has a dual wire as well, like 2 bits of wire comes out both ends. The battery lasts a lot longer because when I got to the end, when the old strimmer got to the end of its life, it basically turned on and it would turn on for 5 seconds and it would die. So it was basically useless. So I spent what, £140 on this last year. I've had it for just over a year now, and it's doing okay. I think at some point soon I'm going to need to get a new strimmer wire. So it is running lower. I mean, I did get it last September or something. So, and it was sealed up to the brim until we could just about close the cap, the lid on it. It was that full. We basically filled the whole thing, all of what was in the package. We filled it up. We didn't waste a single bit. So yeah, it'll be. Because yeah, after this, it's not just do this person's house and then go home and that's it. Apparently, she was saying in the text the other day that her parents like live on a farm and they wanted some like work done there. I think it's the last weekend I was there was like a bit of strimming or something. I was like using a big petrol strimmer. But yeah, I'll give it a go, and obviously that'll mean I guess more money as well. So it's not all about the money, but I mean I just want to get this mower quick and not it be like September by the time I get it and I can use it once and it goes into autumn. Because I mean, I've been wanting to get a new one since what, like probably May or something, start of May, end of April, I don't know. At first it was a battery powered mower, like one of those £100 battery mowers that would probably last you about 20-30 minutes run time and it would die and you have to charge it again. I didn't realise that wouldn't be a good idea, because if I had customers and something like this, it would die once I'm halfway through and then I wouldn't have anything else apart from my string. Then I looked at a power-based one, which is home-based range, and that's obviously a more expensive. I think that was like £169, but that still had a battery life of like 30 minutes or something. So it looked good, but they seem to not sell currently like extra like bits for it. Like they don't seem to currently sell like spare batteries and chargers and blades and all stuff like that you'd need in the future. So that would have been kind of waste of money if you can't really get. They said they were looking into getting selling like more batteries, people could buy multiple and obviously chargers, because they've got a whole range of stuff. So if you have multiple tools, you may want multiple, well, you can't have multiple chargers, but you may want like more batteries for it to last longer. And the company don't sell any of that, so I wouldn't want to spend £170 on that, which would take about a year to save up, to be honest, or 6 months, and I'd find it was basically a waste of money because I had to get my charge for the battery. So I then went to one of those like cheap sub £200 petrol mowers, like the 16-inch ones, which are the cheap ones that should last you a few years. Depends how well you look after it. But yeah, it's one that's £150. It's one from Argos. It's the yellow challenge one. It's the hand pedal, so it's not self pedal. So just you push it instead of you push a hand on it. Moves around for you. So yeah. So that. And it has the auto choke, which is basically a lot of cheap petrol motors have the cheaper engines where you have to pump a little red button a few times to put the petrol in to the engine so you can start. So if you don't do that, it won't start. This one, you just, like a Honda engine or something more premium, you just, you pull the safety handle, and then you pull the pull the recoil cable in at the start. You don't need to press any buttons or put the choke full throttle or anything. You just basically start it. And it seems from the reviews that it's a good one. It's one that it's cheap because it's shit, because it's bad. So that's what I'm saving up for currently. I've got like £100 currently saved up. I'll need about £50 more for the mower, but I would say I need to be safe and get another £10 at least, so 160. Because I will need to buy new petrol, because I've got old petrol but it's like over a year old now, and that's not good for putting in new stuff. It won't run well. And I would need to get the oil for it, which is like, I had a look just to see how much it would cost. It's usually it ranges from about £4-7, but I guess it depends on what brand it is and I guess how much is in. How much is in the or how much millilitres is in that bottle of oil. I think that's quite on me. Yeah. So I'd say another £10 for that, because petrol is about £5. I just don't know how I'll be able to, like, you know, get rid of the current petrol. It's still probably a quarter of the tank. Quarter of petrol in the actual petrol can. So it's obviously, you can't just pour it down a drain, because it would probably, you know, infect the water systems. And if you pour it somewhere on the ground on a hot day, it probably set alight and fire. So I need to look. I need to, you know, find somewhere that can just, you know, dispose of old petrol. So I can just get rid of that and then I can replace it with a new one. Sure, I don't honestly thought that it would have been like petrol stations that you would just be able to like take, there's a old petrol bit where you can just take your old petrol that you've had in a can for like a year or whatever, pour it somewhere, and then you just get a new one. Obviously, the other option is, it would be a bit stupid, just pay £5 or whatever to buy a new petrol can. Then I've got this other one which is still sat there. It's like, I'll find out, because I want to get this mower. I want to use it as soon as I've got it really. As soon as it's all set up, I want to be able to use it and not have it in the box for a few weeks, because I don't know how to get rid of the petrol. Okay, so I think I've got everything in. Well, apart from that. But yeah, I can't actually do that. I don't think I can actually lift that in with just one hand, unless I just... Well, that's stopped. I think I actually pressed the volume button and it stops the video. Okay, well, I've got everything in here now. Have I? I don't know, if I've got my gloves up here. There's so much stuff that I've got. No. I must have bought them in, I must have put them in there. Oh yeah, I put them in there. And so yeah, I'll just get started now, because the customer, so they should be back at 1 PM. And surely it's going to be 1 PM, probably very soon. So yeah, I'll just get started the streaming, and I'll do a bit of sweeping, and then I'll do the mowing. I think, because last time, I showed the video last time, but last time I went this way, the first time I cut it. Obviously that was this way, because it was easier. So I think this time, maybe I'll try and cut it this way, different direction. So yeah, I imagine it's probably going to take around half an hour to do all this bit, probably including streaming. Streaming probably isn't going to be that hard, because it obviously isn't as long as last time, but we'll see. And obviously, luckily, because I think this is good, cause as it's a raised garden and it's not like the patch is on the same level as the grass. I don't actually have to do much sweeping. Like, I have to sweep little bits off the bits of these sleepers. But if it was like the same level as the patch, I have to sweep it all off there. And that's the bit I hate using the broom. Sweeping takes so long compared to leaf blowing. So yeah, it won't. I hope it won't take too long because I have that other. Because the customer's going to take me to the other person's, to her parents' house on the farm or something. If that's still going ahead, to help with some bits there. So yeah, no more talking. I'll just get on with it, and I'll show you after I've done all this trimming, sweeping, and mowing and weeding. I guess if I can get those weeds out. Yeah. Okay, so this is the garden, all done. It's all been cut. I've done some of the weedings. These bits are quite tough to get out. Does look better now. Well, the hint was stripe, but not really. Instead of kind of this way last time I've done it like this way. That weed is too big to fit in the bin. But yeah, just got a bag on the mower. The amount of times this bag broke, you know, sort of the bit at the bottom bar came off. It was kind of annoying. It wasn't that many as I expected, but just that few times. Just annoying. It gets just on my nerves. It happens. Yeah, so I haven't done a video in a while. Well, sometimes I'll just forget, and ideally I would have wanted to have my little Sony camera and then the tripod, but it's a bit awkward because it's still a new person. And I won't be wondering why I'm like filming. So I'm just taking this. I'm actually going to the other place now. Do I need to take the bin or anything?
No. Is that?
I still got.
Yeah. We'll just go.
Okay.
Do you mind that my daughter's car seat's in the front? So do you mind sitting